Max, the one to watch for the best in entertainment, now has live sports with the Bleacher Report sports add-on.
5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go.
Stream hundreds of select live games from the MLB postseason.
That's gonna go!
NBA, NHL, U.S. Soccer, and NCAA Men's March Madness.
We just see what we think we just saw!
And it's all included for a limited time with any Max subscription.
He got him!
After the promo period, add it for $9.99 a month. Base subscription required.
This episode is brought to you by Pete's. Few things start your day better than a good coffee. That's why Pete's hand roasts their coffee from a specific selection of high-quality beans. And they don't just put those beans into anyone's hands. Pete's trains their roasters for 10,000 hours so they can master the roast that gives you the most. Pete's Coffee. Coffee for coffee people. Find Pete's online or at your local retailer.
Hey, what is up? It is the ManFUzed Podcast. Who's sitting next to me? Oh yeah, it is Ben H.
What's up?
I am Kay Lee, audio producer, your host. This is the ManFUzed Podcast.
Welcome.
And thank you for taking the time to hang out with us. I am in a bit of a pickle, Ben.
Yeah?
I'm at a crossroads. So I have, for the last 6 years, been the proud owner of a Chrysler 300 SRT8.
Yes.
It's the
car.
Big Hemi. It was like one of the last years that Chrysler actually made this car with this engine before it went over to Dodge. It's a badass car.
Fast, too.
Very fast. You know, not as fast as some, but I mean, if you got any faster, for every point you went faster, you would pay another $15,000, $20,000. I mean, it was like 4.1, 0 to 60.
Yeah.
You get a car, if it's not electric, you know, some of these Teslas can do it really quick, but typical regular motor,
right.
V8 or V6 supercharged, I mean, to go 3.5, you're going to spend $100,000 on a car.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if it can do it in 3.5 for less than $100K.
Right.
Or more.
Right.
And I took great care of my car. I bought it with 40,000 miles on it. And about a month and a half ago, an unfortunate set of circumstances came my way. Yeah. Now, my car currently had 160,000 miles on it. You would look at my car, you would never know. There was no check engine light on. I never let a check engine light come on because if there was ever an issue, which there really wasn't, I had it fixed.
Right.
I'm at a stoplight. I go to stop. My car dies. No major sound, nothing that was alarming, but oh shit, died. I don't know what the fuck. Tried to start it. It wouldn't turn over. So I had it towed to this shop that I got my oil changed at locally. So they've been kind of dealing with some of the maintenance on my car, and I have it towed there, and a few days goes by, and then they call and tell me it ain't good, that the engine's blown. And I'm like, what do you mean the engine's blown? I had no symptoms, no warning, no loss of power, nothing. The engine's blown. Can you tell me what part of the engine? Did I blow a piston? We think it's a lower end problem causing a top end failure. Now, to me, who knows nothing about like the actual, I know there's an engine and it's a block and it's got pistons and it's got valves. I don't know what the fuck a low end problem caused a top end failure.
Yeah.
Well, can you give me more info?
It's like you got kicked in the balls and had a heart attack.
Correct. Does that normally cause a heart attack? No, right. So I'm like, well, can you be more descriptive? Well, we could be, but we haven't done anything invasive. We'd have to do almost like an autopsy.
Right.
That costs money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not really buying this. You just turned it on and say it's dead. So I brought in Jim Florick from Monster Customs.
Yeah.
Because I called him with my issue and I said, I know you work on cars, but you don't work on like these engine things.
Monster Customs is awesome.
Monster Customs is awesome. Anything you ever need, Monster Customs has it. But they're not going to drop in an engine for you. That's not their forte, but he knows people.
Yeah.
He comes out, meets me at the shop, takes a look at it.
He came all the way out.
He came all the way to my house.
Wow.
Or all the way to the shop.
Dang.
We had to go buy jumper cables because my car had been sitting and they had tried starting it, so the battery was dead.
Right.
So we jumped the car, and as soon as we get it jumped and we get it to turn over for a few seconds, and I see some smoke shoot out the pipes of the back, he goes, oh, yeah, that ain't good. He's like, something's rattling around in there. He's like, yeah, I hate to say it, but your engine's gone. And I'm like, fuck. So my options are, I don't mean to delay the story long.
Yeah.
So the owner of this shop knows who I am and says, hey, would you be interested in working out a trade for advertising for a brand new engine?
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, I would. It'll be about $15,000. They can get a brand new engine from Chrysler. I submit a proposal through Pioneer because Pioneer is our podcast network.
Right.
They have worked in some numbers to where we will give them $20,000 in free advertising if they spend X over a certain amount of time.
Right.
I do a spec spot. It's handed to the owner, and I wait. And I wait. And I wait. And finally, I'm telling this guy, because I've been driving my mom's Subaru Outback, which I didn't know.
You've been subing it up.
I didn't know that was the preferred vehicle by lesbians.
Well, let's just say, aside from the social reputation that the car has.
The Subaru?
Yeah.
Do you think they have a branding problem? And there's nothing wrong with lesbians
was it a
homosexuals loving. This thing was nice as shit.
Well, Subarus are awesome cars, dude. They can go anywhere.
Peanut butter, like leather interior. I mean, it was decked out technology-wise. This thing was badass.
Right.
I did not know when I took possession of it for a couple months that this was the lesbian preferred vehicle for the lesbian community.
I mean,
nothing wrong with that.
It's gone.
But I was reminded 20 times a day.
Yeah, it's
hey,
gone.
you know, lesbians love that car.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. I know. I was told.
It's a funny thing, you know, because like certain things get these reputations, and then when you're driving it, that's what it is. You know, people are calling you out about it. But a Subaru is actually a cool car.
Oh, this thing was loaded, dude, and it had 9,000 miles on it. But my little lesbian vacation came to an end.
Yeah, it did.
Because my mom needed the car back.
It was fast and furious.
I'm going through the manager to tell the owner, listen, I get it if you're evaluating the proposal and this takes a little time because you're basically moving marketing dollars to a different area. I said, but let me know, because if I have to rent a car, that's fine. Let me know something.
Right.
I had an offer. Jim brought me an offer from one of his buddies who owns a shop.
For the car?
For my car.
Nice.
For $7,000 as is.
And you took it?
No.
Oh.
Because I was waiting. Because if I took the $7,000, this car was almost paid off.
Right.
But then I was going to acquire a payment for another 48 months because I wasn't going to shell out. I wasn't going to drain savings to outright buy another car. Not at the price I wanted a car.
Right.
If I can get a brand new engine and drive this thing for a couple more years, and I still enjoyed the car. I wasn't wanting to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I had now a brand new motor in the thing.
Right.
Fuck yeah. So I said, Jim, it's an awesome offer. Because if I took that through a dealership, they'd give me $500.
Right.
The fact that it's in good enough condition that someone else would be like, I could put a Hellcat motor in that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Which is what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm still waiting on this proposal. This was like August 31st. Still waiting. And finally, I'm calling him. I'm going, car that I've been driving, and it's not your problem, but that for free, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
So I kind of need to know what I'm doing so I'm not scrambling.
Right.
Crickets. Monday of this week, can you get a hold of the owner and get me something? If you're evaluating it still, just tell me that.
Right.
Hour later, I get a response. He's not interested in it for the moment. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
How long did that take? Like a month?
Over a month, he had the proposal.
Wow.
And without ever
That's
responding.
a long, slow answer.
Right. And especially one. So I called Jim back. Jim, is your buddy still interested? Nah, I think he found something else. Oh, of course he did. Because why would he want to wait for only my car? Here I am today, standing before you.
Right.
On both feet.
Yes.
No car. Haven't sold my car.
Nope.
Had to give my mom's car back today.
So what's the plan? I mean, what are we going to, what's the solution here?
The solution is,
I mean, I think looking back, taking the $7,000 would have been the play.
I wanted to see if I was able to pull off this new engine. Would have been great for free. I wouldn't have had to do anything.
That would have been better, but even still.
If I would have known, it seemed feasible through the manager.
Right.
Who's wife was a big fan of our show. And apparently the marketing guy for the owner of this body shop was also a big fan of the show and told the owner this was a good idea because the Burt Show's podcast numbers are huge. And he would have not only been running on the ManFUzed podcast, ads would have been running on the Burt Show podcast.
Right.
And we would have, and really across the Pioneer network. Now, I have no car, and my wife has her car, but that's not enough to drive 3 kids around. And so I don't need to sell my car to buy another car. My pickle is there's no car I could choose now that my wife is going to agree with. Not saying I need her permission to do it, because she'll bitch about whatever I buy, I feel like. The smart thing to do. Interest rates right now are
atrocious.
Like disgusting.
Yeah, they're horrible.
So if I buy a brand new car or lease a brand new car, I might be able to get a special for like 3 or 4%, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you're buying used, even USAA, I was looking at their rates, go from like 6 to 10.
Yeah.
And so anything 2015 or older, you're looking at like 9.9% interest.
Yeah.
Which makes even a $30,000 car with a couple grand down atrocious.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
Do I buy outright some fucking beater and I'm like, I don't want to drive a beater. My wife's like, what do you have to? I'm like,
well, you drive a lot. I mean, it's not like you just go to the grocery store and back.
I mean,
you're up and down the highway every single day.
Only
just
25,
to get to and from work.
Only 25 miles, but I mean, I guess it's.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about like a highway car, just to get you to and from work, and it doesn't need to be anything special, I don't know if there is a better car than like the Honda Accord, the Toyota Camry, you could get a Nissan Rogue.
Why don't I get a Ford Festiva?
A Honda Accord with the windows tinted is, completely undercover. There's nothing exciting about it.
No, I'm not excited at all.
No, it's a step.
I'm as flaccid as could be right now.
It's a step back, but
I mean, it is and it isn't. It's like, what do I have to portray? I mean, but it's more about like cars make you happy, right? For
the most part, yeah.
I mean, to an extent, you like getting in your M5.
Yeah.
You like getting in your Raptor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I will say this, I think it's more of it's awesome, no doubt.
I love every second.
But you're just riding in something. I mean, at the end of the day,
it's not what I need, it's what I want.
In something. So it's like, obviously, you want the cool toy.
Well, you want something. I've always gotten something even.
But is it a toy or is it just something to serve a transportation purpose? Because I'll tell you another one. You want to know the least exciting car that's probably the best car ever?
Hold on.
A Volvo.
Oh, yeah. But Volvos are dope, though.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you could get a Volvo. They make like a S90. It's like a S-Class Mercedes. I mean, these things are huge. It's the car. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Smooth riding, fast.
But that's expensive.
Handles
Volvos
great.
aren't cheap, though.
Huh?
Volvos aren't cheap.
They're not absorbent. I mean, I'm talking about an older one.
Right.
You could get an older
1982.
Like, I don't know, like a 2013 or 2014. Something that's like 10 years old. You could probably you want to know the best deal on a car? End of story. Mercedes E350. Not only is it good, and you get the sport, the Mercedes E350 Sport's got the wheels, it's got the body kit, it's a 6-cylinder, it's a Benz, it's an E-Class, same size as I guarantee you can pick one up right now for 18 grand, 22 grand.
There was a time where I was fucking with drugs and I was in between like a career thing because long story short, I was get into real estate, but I was just launching. I was doing a bunch of blow. I wasn't making great decisions. Had purchased this Escalade EXT truck. When I turned 25, I bought it brand new. I think gas went up to $5 a gallon during that time. I lost my job, real estate business just starting. I was underwater.
Yeah.
I ended up letting the car get repoed.
Right.
Right? So after that happened, my dad generously, I'll give you my BMW 328i.
There you go.
It was dope. You just take over the remaining payments. And I was paying like $500 a month, which was less than my $1,100 a month I was paying for my EXT.
Yeah.
It was out of warranty. And every fucking time I brought that fucking car in, it was like, it'll be $2,000 for these hoses.
Oh, yeah.
And Mercedes is going to be the same way, isn't it? Like, I don't want...
The E350 super reliable car. Super reliable.
I mean, when you had your Mercedes S-Class that you bought from your...
AMG car, don't do it. I had an SL AMG and an ML AMG.
And they were out of warranty, right?
Out of warranty, but an AMG car is different than like a 350. But to your point, I mean, yeah, it's still expensive, but you don't take it to Mercedes, you take it to the guys over here at German Car Repair. Like, I'm getting new brakes on my BMW, and it's,
You don't take it to BMW?
No, hell no. Hell
I
to
thought
the no.
I thought you were pretty like committed to like bringing it to them for the major work you do.
I typically am, but I found some great people up here, actually.
And it's half, you said?
Half.
My wife actually last night was on Facebook Marketplace and found this Mercedes wagon that she thinks is so fucking dope. And this thing was clean as shit.
Yeah.
And it was one of the rare ones that had the trunk, had that back seat that folds up, that faces out the fucking, the back.
The E-Class wagon?
I think so.
Yeah, the E-Class wagon. I mean, look, ultimately, if you want, again, I go back to my initial statement. If you want gas mileage, reliability, honestly, it's a sporty car. You can get them with a V6 in them, and they're fast, and they're sporty. The Honda Accord. Dude, it is the all-time, I know, believe me, I know, but I'm just saying, it's the all-time champion of, like,
economical.
Just everything coming together. It has to get the all-time greatest score. Has to.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it does. So it's like, and granted, I've driven some beaters throughout the years just because it was just easy and convenient.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm at a certain age. I'm like, I want what I want, and it doesn't, not necessarily what I want is like, I feel asking too much.
Right.
But to get what I want now, because even though...
What do you want?
I mean, well, originally I was like, okay, before my car engine blew up, I wanted a Hellcat. Like a used one, like 2016 or something.
How much are those?
I mean, you might be able to get them for like 55 or so. But
so you want some muscle.
I mean, I wanted some. Yeah, I mean, I liked having the power.
Two doors okay? I mean, you got 3 kids. No,
it got to be 4. No, it's got to be this Charger. I don't want the Challenger.
So you have to get the...
I got to have 5 people.
You got to have 5 people. You got to have a V8.
It didn't have to be a V8. So I was looking at the Scat Pack wide body Chargers.
$50,000.
Right. I mean, you could get them for 35, 40 with like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
With like 30,000 miles on it. But that's what I was looking at before my engine blew up. But now I am not going to have 10 or 15,000 to put down on a car.
Right.
And I'm not going to drain my savings to do so.
Right.
Not yet. I mean, we got a lot.
Why don't you take your car, right?
I just got offered today an offer for my car, which was...
How much?
$6,000.
Take it.
I'm going to.
Take it.
The deal's almost done. He just hasn't picked it up yet.
Take it. Pay the $2,000 off. The best car buying experience I ever had in my life. CarMax. Okay?
Yeah.
CarMax.
You can't wheel and deal with them, though.
I'm just telling you. It's the best. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Point being, what I'd do if I was you, I'd take the $4,000. I'd go down to CarMax. Be like, look, I got $4,000. I don't want to pay more than $500 a month. I'm putting $4,000 down. I want to spend $500 a month. I want a V8. I want a sedan. What you got?
One car that I have been searching, and I don't know why. I just think I think for a sedan and luxury, they're pretty dope.
Right.
I was looking at the Hyundai Genesis. Like the back seats have like all these controls. It almost looks like a Maybach in
Well,
the
they
back.
made that to compete with the BMW 7 Series. So
They have the G90, which is the big one.
right.
And now they have a sportier G70.
Well, they hired engineers away from BMW, I don't know. I think it was 2016 or 2017. So if you look at like a lot of the newer Hyundais, the design are literally coming from German sports car designers. They hired them away from BMW. They got the guy that created the M3 that was the generation from 2014 to 2020, I believe. I forget the model designation, but it's an epic car, this M3. And the guy that designed it now is designing cars for Hyundai.
440 horsepower.
Yeah.
V8.
So which one are you looking at? The big dog?
So new 2023 G90s are $100,000.
Okay,
I'm not getting
yeah,
those.
right.
But those first few years, you're losing some fucking value.
Oh, you're losing all the money, bro.
Right. So I've already seen them. I could pick one up, a G90 2018 35 with like 40,000 miles on it.
I don't know, dude. It's tough. I mean,
What? You don't
my
like that?
friend Tony, he's a dealer of fine automobiles. I mean, this guy does Porsches and Ferraris.
Well, right.
And Lamborghinis.
Genesis probably isn't on that.
Well, no, what he said to me one time, he said, if you don't care what you drive, that's the best value in a car.
What?
The Genesis.
If you don't. So what you're saying is, thank you, Ben. Now, if I go and I find one and I buy one and I'm going to be like, if I was a commercial and I got out of my car, this is my Genesis because I don't care what I drive, is what you're saying. So now you've just laid this foundation of I don't care what I drive.
Yeah, I mean, meaning like in terms of people that buy cars from him, he typically wouldn't sell so he took it on trade or something like that. But he's got like nothing but, I'm talking about rare Porsches.
Right.
Everything he's got is just unbelievable. $150,000 Bronco Raptors.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just crazy stuff, right? But he had a Hyundai Genesis that he had just taken on trade on something else. He said it's a great car, but, it's a Hyundai. And I don't know if Hyundai will ever necessarily overcome that.
Well,
but
they
branded
branded themselves Genesis, like, for that model, but
Right.
still it's a Hyundai.
The stuff they've been pumping out lately is sick.
I mean, the G70, like, it's a twin turbo V6. It's like 400 and something horse. I mean, it's like 0 to 60 in like 4.3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's pretty fast.
Exactly.
So I'm like, but is that what I want? I'm like, yeah.
I like the G70. I'd go G70 over G90.
See, G70's a little smaller
that's
than
more
my
like
300.
It's more like a 5 Series.
Well, what was my 300? That would be
More like a 5 Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the G90 would be more like the 7, and
7.
the G80 would be probably like
I have no idea.
the Genesis has probably been, from a luxury standpoint, all the bells and whistles.
So to me, if I'm going budget, right, I'm going stick shift, and I'm getting something sporty. Like, me personally. Like,
Why stick shift?
because it's fun.
Oh, yeah, but
I
it's
love
fun
it.
unless you're in traffic.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, me personally, if I'm getting like a, I don't know, some kind of a something.
I would really like a Cadillac CTSV. Like that shit.
Yeah, they're sick.
Yeah.
That's like $100K, isn't it?
Yeah, and for some reason they've been holding even the used ones like with like 80 or 90,000, still 50 grand, and I'm like, fuck.
One of the funnest cars you can drive is a VW GTI.
A bug.
No, a VW.
A GTI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a badass car.
The little hatchback.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
a sick car.
Craig Foster used to have one, and it was pretty bad.
Oh, they are sick. That thing is awesome. I mean, you talk about I'm just saying beater. I'm talking about, you talking about like paying cash for a beater, right? You take your $4,000, come up with another $5,000, go get something for like $9,000. You own it.
You don't have a payment.
You don't have a payment. You just own the damn thing. Something like that that's what I mean. Like if I was going to do beater, Because you're doing this in-between thing, which if I was going to do the in-between thing, me personally, it'd be like a 535 with the M Sport package. That's what I'd get. Or I'd get a 550 if I could find it.
Well, with like a bunch of miles on it to where it's like Troy or my neighbor's like, dude, just get something to where you know you'll make a little money on it when you're done. And, you know, like versus committing to a 60-month or 48-month payment. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, this doesn't have to be a forever. This just be like, let the interest rates come down or the car prices come down. Everything is like jacked up right now.
The problem that you run into with V8s, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're not as reliable. They suck a lot more gas. They cost a lot more in insurance. So if you can find a sporty car that has a 6 in it.
Your cars have 6s, right?
My Raptor has a 6.
No, I know it does.
And I love it.
And you have that thing tuned.
I mean, it's not a V8, but it's awesome.
But I thought with the tuner on it, you could make it.
I took the tune off.
Why?
I don't know.
You didn't like
I just
it?
didn't feel right about it.
Well, like what?
I just don't want it
Did
to
it go against your morals?
No, I just don't want to work the engine too hard. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I plan on keeping it for a long time. So, you know, whether or not it makes it it does make it faster. It makes it rev higher. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all that stuff, which puts more wear and tear on the motor.
Right.
So if you're going to keep something long term, then it's probably best not to have a tune. I'd probably do like a 535 M Sport, 50,000 miles, 40,000 miles, 6 cylinders, 3.5 6-cylinder. BMW's been making it forever.
Right.
It's a reliable car. It's sporty. It's fast. You'd have fun as shit running up down 400 in that damn thing. And it looks cool. You know, and it's not a big car. It's not a small car. It's a cheap car. You get one for 15 or 16 grand, dude. I mean, like, you know,
even if I adopted a payment with like $8,000 down, you'd like fucking.
Or take your $4,000.
Put it down.
Put it down on $18,000. You know,
you got $14,000 finance. It's not going to be.
Yeah,
a
you'd
huge
be
payment.
$300 or $400 a month. You know, roll with it until you're done. It'll never be worth less. You know.
No, I mean it might lose a few grand, but it'll hold $10,000 easy.
Yeah, so you could do something like that. But I agree that you're always running a risk of maintenance cost when you're dealing with a foreign car. I mean, I need brakes on my Raptor and I need brakes on my M5, right?
That shit's
It's 25% of the cost to put brakes on the Raptor.
What do you mean 25%?
The cost of the BMW, the Raptor's 25% to replace the brakes.
Oh, then the BMW.
$4,000 for the BMW, $1,000
For the Raptor.
I'm talking pads and rotors. I'm talking full brake job, $1,000 on the Raptor.
Versus how much?
Versus $4,000 on the M5.
Do you have to use the M5 brakes? Like you
Oh
can't.
hell yeah, you have to. I mean, now I'm asking for it because it's an M5. So
Right.
That's a different story. But the point is that just with BMWs or Mercedes,
But aren't they just Brembo brakes or are they special M5 brakes?
M5 brake.
Okay.
Now, another great car that you might want to look into which is an epic car, the Audi S7. Have you ever seen an Audi S7? I'm talking about like a 2010 Audi S7.
Have you seen the Avant station wagon RS6?
Oh
my
yeah, that's
God.
my favorite car ever, dude.
It's $150,000, and it's ridiculously fast.
It's unbelievable.
Audi is going to be expensive to maintain.
Oh, so expensive. Like completely wear your pocketbook out.
Yeah, so
Completely wear you out.
Yeah.
So either you got to go American or Japanese.
I hate the situation I'm in right now. That's kind of a
Or you just go, you know what? This
real world problems.
This is my car to just run up 400 with.
Clunk, 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 clunk. I want one that shoots smoke when I fire it up. I could be a bagged and chopped 1966 Cadillac.
But do you want a car or would you go with a truck?
My wife's like, why don't you get a truck? And
So why don't you just get a truck?
because if I get one, I would want like a Raptor or something.
No, get a truck and slam it.
Like one of those little ones.
Like a Chevy. No, like a 4-door, like a quad cab Chevy dually. put like a system in it.
Oh, no.
Tint the windows like limo tint, dude.
Real talk. There was
Get
this.
like a white one with black wheels.
There was one I almost bought that I was liquidating this old strip club one time. It was called Vegas Nights. It was in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. And the club had been closed down. It used to be the Taj Mahal when it was a titty bar.
Yeah.
It turned into a nightclub, and then that closed down. Well, I had to weigh in because they were doing something to the building. In the back, Audi was storing cars from their dealership there.
Yeah.
And they had taken in a Ram dually that was matte black, and it was slammed, and it had been sitting there.
Yeah.
And I was like, that thing is, and it had all these running lights. It was so sick. But when I asked him how much for it, and then I took it to a shop to get looked at, and he put it up on the lift, he goes, this thing has had water damage. He was like, this thing, and so I didn't get it. But it inspired me. I love that. Yeah. That would be something I would embrace. Like, I could embrace that. See, it doesn't have to be a big name car. I just want something that kind of accentuates my personality, because while we can argue, I'm just running up and down 400, picking up the kids, part of my ego says, hey, you're a personality. You're a business owner. Look the part. Part of your ego, Ben, would say, I'm a successful real estate hustling dude. I need to pull up. Well, but I need to pull up looking the part.
Well, that's a fact. Yeah.
I mean,
it doesn't have to be what I have. I mean, obviously, that's my personal taste. When you start talking about Honda Accord or BMW 535 or...
Well, they could just get out of the car and be like, that's an economical man.
Yeah, but, when you're slanging luxury real estate, you want to at least have something going on. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to look like Uncle Buck pulling up to that house.
And I'm not saying it matters what people drive. It doesn't, but perception is important when you're in sales.
And, and I work for, like I said, but that's ego, and I can lay ego aside, but I just feel like I want something. I don't know, man. Anyway, I don't get off this fucking stupid topic because I'm like, it's an uncomfortable decision, because if I go the cheaper route, I could always get out of the cheaper route. If I do the more committed route to where I'm financing something for 48 or 60 months, and it's more of a commitment that's it's going to be more painful to get out of initially, because you're going to be buying high unless a dealership's going to make money on you. I just feel like that's a harder one to get out of.
It's tough, man. It's a tough situation. The other idea is you just get a new engine.
Yeah, but that's putting $15,000 into a car that's got 160.
Is it 15 though, or could you
for
get
a new engine
10?
installed? Be 15. If you can find a used one that's like verified that wasn't
is the car worth 20 with a new engine in it?
You ain't financing. Like, I'm spending $15,000.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to take that out of my savings or out of my slush fund or whatever. I just don't want to do it. And where I guess it'd be a smarter decision, like all of us are faced with these decisions. Do I want to pay interest?
You did a deal with the mechanic. You're going to sell him the car for $1. Okay. Ooh. Which is going to cost you $2,000 because you got to pay it off. So you're going to spend $2,001. You're going to pay your car off. You're going to sell it to the mechanic for $1. The mechanic's going to do the install and sell it back to you for $15,000. You go get a personal loan from your bank ahead of time with all the specs of the car, so that the check is sitting there waiting for the purchase of what the mechanic cost is. So you sell the car to the mechanic and buy it back from him.
That's some strategic thinking there, Ben.
Yeah.
That's pretty clever. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That is pretty clever.
I mean, what better car could you get for $17,000 than the one you have with a brand new engine in it? I think that's the real play.
But then,
or you take the freaking $7,000. I mean, look, what's the guy going to do? And does it have to be a brand new motor? And is that the end story? I mean, is that what Jim said too? Did Jim say $15,000, or can Jim get it done for 10?
No. 15 would be them not making barely anything.
Who, Jim, or the place down the street?
Oh, the place down the street.
I'm sure they're making at least 3 or 4.
Well, no, but I mean, typically, like I've asked multiple people, a brand new out of the crate motor is going to even cost them $12,000,
right.
$11,000.
Right.
And so if they were basically giving me a price. First, they told me 22.
Yeah.
But then when we started talking about a deal, they're like, I'll get it down to 15. That's us barely making anything. Now, granted, because they pay the employees $20 an hour. And
sure.
So it doesn't cost them $3,000 to install it.
Yeah.
But that would have been my price. So 15.
Okay, so it's $15,000. Fine. $15,000, brand new.
I just worry that I do that, and then what if my transmission goes?
Oh, it's going.
Right.
Yeah, you got Frankenstein on your hands
and that's
now.
Right. And so that's another $4,000.
Oh, it's Frankenstein from here on out.
Yeah.
How many miles are on it again?
166.
Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. I think I should walk.
Yeah. Then take the $6,000.
Take your
pay
money
off
and
the
run.
2. Mm-hmm. Take the 4.
Round up.
Go to CarMax. Tell them I got $5,000.
What can you do for me?
I need 4 doors.
Oh my God. What kind of segment or skit would that be?
Yeah.
If you went in there with that approach.
Yeah.
I've got $5,000 cash. I'm going to close my eyes and drive up what you're thinking you can do.
It's a good show idea.
It really is. And see how much I cry.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny.
Well, listen, my wife has an appointment with your wife in 10 minutes.
I don't care.
I have to go back to my house so that my wife can drive here and be here on time.
But what's her rush?
Who?
Your wife.
I don't know.
43 minutes of car talk. I don't know if it's boring or not, but people might be in this situation.
Well, everybody is in a difficult situation right now, I can tell you, because it is brutal out there.
Yeah.
In my market, anyways.
But you sounds like you have a lot of shit in the works, though.
Oh, it's unbelievable how much I do have in the works, but it's also unbelievable how difficult it is to get things through. If you can get a deal, it's a miracle to get something closed.
Is that because of the interest rates, the banks, the underwriters, or is it the buyers or sellers, or is it all of it?
It's just the environment. We've been in this crazy environment since COVID. Before COVID it was like the sunlit uplands. There were flowers in the fields and butterflies. There was lemonade.
Everyone was getting laid.
Yeah, there was lemonade. There was no ants.
No ants.
You know, now the grass is brown. The fire ants are all over your blanket.
Joro spiders are taking over.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, you've got swamp ass every day.
But it forces you to work harder. It forces you. You have to take on the mindset. Like, I've got this great clip from Jocko. Have you ever heard this? You know who Jocko Willink is?
Yeah, I know who he is.
So if you don't know who Jocko Willink is, he's a former Navy SEAL. He's got a podcast called Jocko Podcast. He's an author. He writes books and stuff like that. He has a leadership company. I mean, this guy he's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He owns a jiu-jitsu dojo or whatever you call it. Yeah. And he's just awesome. And he's got a mantra that he created.
Ooh, I love
as a Navy
mantra.
SEAL commander.
Ooh.
And it's called good.
I love a good mantra.
It's called good. His mantra is good.
Mantra good.
And so here it is.
Good mantra.
Are you ready for good?
I am.
This is Jocko Willink. And this is what I listen to every single day to remind myself.
Yeah, you should be able to hear it. It's playing. Oh, and it's not playing now. It was.
All right. I can't hear it, but I'm going to play it.
All right, try it now.
Because it's amazing.
My direct subordinate's one of my guys that worked for me. He would call me up or pull me aside with some major problem, some issue that was going on. And he'd say, boss, we got this and that and the other thing. And I look at him.
You were turned down.
Good. And finally one day he was telling me about some issue that he was having, some problem. And he said, I already know what you're going to say. And I said, well, what am I going to say? He said, you're going to say good. He said, that's what you always say. When something is wrong and going bad, you always just look at me and say, good. And I said, well, yeah. When things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Didn't get the new high-speed gear we wanted? Good. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get funded. Didn't get the job you wanted. Got injured. Sprained my ankle. Got tapped out? Good. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. That's it. When things are going bad, good. Don't get all bummed out. Don't get startled. Don't get frustrated.
This shit's fine.
If you can say the word good,
Good.
guess what?
Yeah.
It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing.
I'm gonna
And if you're
punch
still
something.
breathing, well, now you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage,
Yes, sir.
and go out on the attack.
I'm ready to go. I'm fired up right now. That shit was gangster. That shit.
Get after it.
That shit was. I got chills.
It's amazing.
I got chills. I got chills right now. And if you're listening
Doesn't
to this,
that make you just want to run through a wall?
oh, dude, I want to just fucking. I'm gonna eat this microphone.
Well, that's what we've been doing. We've just been running through walls, dude.
I mean, yeah,
We have just been running through it, bro. I mean, we've been rocking, and we're developing insane amount of leads and business and just stuff. And then it gets even harder, and it gets harder. Every step of the process.
It's like you're walking through Shawshank prison trying to get out the
And
shit.
you just have to go, all right, good. How am I going to figure this out?
With my car, good.
They're good. I have an opportunity to do something different.
I have an opportunity to clunk down the street.
I have an opportunity to get a drop pickup truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
mean, that's what I see.
A bag.
That's what I, dude. If I, just get a freaking like, I mean, you don't have. It doesn't have to be. Yeah. Good.
Good. Yeah, good. Good. I hope if you listen to that and you're not getting pumped up about whatever's going on in your life or what you need to do that you're not doing.
Default life is hard as fuck. And it always has been. From the time you're born, life is fucking hard.
And needless to say, I mean, some older generations like, well, back in my day, I had to walk 5 miles, but that was hard at the time.
Dude.
It's a different kind of hard now.
It's always been a struggle.
It is a struggle, though. It's a struggle. It's a struggle socially throughout your life. It's a struggle, mentally, comparison. I mean, it's just a struggle from, through teenage years. I mean, and think about all the people that don't even make it to the age we're at.
Absolutely.
Because of how hard life can be. And the luck of just the hand of cards you're dealt.
It's so true, though, because, like, if you really want to look at your percentage, okay, let's just say, because a lot of people, which I have no problem with, are going to take a different route. And you know what? At the end of the day, that might be the smarter way to go, depending on how much pressure and stress you can deal with, that you want to put yourself in front of. But if you consider the fact that as an entrepreneur, dude, Andy Frisella broke it down the other day, and he said, look, if you're going to be a winner, like if you're going to win, right, the winner's life is 90% of the time you're going to get kicked in the balls. 8% of the time you're going to just be told no and you're going to be eating shit.
Yeah.
2% of the time you're going to win and it's going to be glorious.
And that 2% is all you need.
And that time comes and goes, and then you're back to the 98%, because 98% of, let's say, 10 years
is going to be eating shit.
Think about how much time that is. That's like you get 4 months of winning.
Yeah.
Spread out over 10 years. So 4 months might be 120 days. You might get 10 wins a year. If your wins are worth $1 million, or if your wins are worth $10,000, or if your wins are worth $100,000, or whatever it is that.
However you gauge your win.
Your wins
it doesn't even have to
worth.
be money. Just,
Right, or whatever. Yeah, it could be whatever. But the point is that it's fucking designed to be hard. Right. It's not supposed to be easy. And part of the problem that we have now, and I even have it, I've developed it, okay? I've developed it through, honestly, the way that society is now. I feel like I am entitled for it to be easier than it is. And I get upset when it's not as easy as I want it to be. As easy as maybe it
or
was.
happening as quickly as
happening as quickly as I want. I get upset not out of commitment to winning, but out of an entitlement.
Right.
That it should be easier than this.
I'm putting
Just
in this time.
Idea.
That like what I'm putting this time, so I need to get mine.
Exactly. This idea that I'm supposed to get a result just because I put in an effort.
Just because I woke up and got out of bed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not.
I wish it was that easy.
I do too. And you know what? Sometimes it is.
Sometimes you'll have those days.
You have those days, but you have to recognize that for what it is. That's the cream.
But you might have those days because you've gone through
absolutely
the shit.
Absolutely.
So now you're in a position to take advantage of that day.
Absolutely. I know how hard I fought to get to where I am. And I think what I thought is when I was fighting that hard is that once I got to a certain place, it wouldn't be that hard anymore. The truth is, it's harder. The wins have to be bigger.
Right.
The numbers have to be bigger. And you still have to be able to say, good, I'm going to figure it out anyways. I'm the guy. I'm going to be the one that makes it. I'm going to be the one that makes it happen. I'm going to be the one that actually, I don't give a shit what it takes. I'm going to put out, you know?
Yeah.
And guess what? You still might fucking lose. And that's okay too. I mean, I accept the fact
you can lose.
That I could lose. And I've decided I'd rather do that than quit. I'd rather give it everything I have and lose than to just quit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Hey, once again, thanks for listening to the ManFUzed Podcast. You have thoughts, you have concerns, please join the show, share the show, hit us up at manfused.com or 770-744-5227.
Fu Media.